back in Jersey, yeah.
Hello and welcome to another brand new episode of New Music, New Jersey. And I'm your host, Apples. And this evening we are in South Plainfield, New Jersey, where we will be interviewing producer and engineer Taitt, and also his artist, Mr. Zenith Star himself, and he's from Paterson, New Jersey. So, we want to get into his album that we have here, which has some really great stuff on it. We want to definitely talk to Ted and see what he's been up to.
I'm Ted Big Shot Taitt, and I am a producer.
We are here in South Plainfield, New Jersey, with engineer, producer, Mr. Taitt. And he also has a media company called Connect Media, and that's with a K. Connect Media. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I want to say,
good as usual.
Oh, well, thank you. You know, I try.
I try too.
I just want to say thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show. This really means a lot to us.
Not a problem.
Really respect what you do. For those of you who don't know, his artist, Mr. Zenith Star, will be featured on New Music New Jersey as well. But we'll be talking about him a little bit more. First and foremost, are you originally from South Plainfield?
Hell no.
Where are you from?
Nobody of color that you're gonna meet in South Plainfield is from South Plainfield. No, originally I'm from New York. I'm a Bronx kid. I grew up in the Bronx.
All right, and if this serves me correct, you started DJing in 1995?
No. I started DJing in high school.
Okay.
Now, don't be fooled.
Okay.
I'm a little bit older than you might think I am.
Okay.
So, high school was, pre-1990.
Okay.
I was DJing.
Okay.
I got into production, seriously starting in 91.
Okay.
And built, my first real studio in 95.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I knew it was a 95 in there somewhere.
Yeah, it is a 95 in there.
All right. And believe it or not, you were influenced, or you had a chance to meet Funkmaster Flex. And if you could just tell our viewers how you met him.
Okay. This whole craziness called music production could be blamed on Funkmaster Flex. Only because when I went to school in New York, I went to a small private school, Our Savior Lutheran. And there was a party, the first hip-hop party they allowed in that school, on the gym, because it had a rubber floor and they were concerned. And the DJ was Funkmaster Flex, who actually went to the school. So seeing him tear the party up, and he had some dude in his crew that was rapping with a hot ass sheepskin on, sweating. The way they tore that party down made me want to get into DJing.
Wow.
So when I moved from the Bronx to New Jersey, it's, a different pace. And to stay out of trouble, my parents was like, get that boy some turntables, and I spent hours in there mixing, learning how to scratch, and yeah, so. And the DJing is what led me into producing once the technology got to a point where I realized I could make my own music. So, in a roundabout way, when I really start getting out there and killing all these other producers, y'all can blame Funkmaster Flex.
Okay.
And FlexWeTrust.com.
Now, really quick, you went to a private school, and you said that Funkmaster Flex went to a private school?
Sorry, Flex, yeah.
Wow.
He's a smart dude. Everybody in that school was smart. So it was normal to be smart.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't realize, I didn't realize I was that smart until I came to public school. And they throwing me in gifted and talented classes. I'm like, word.
Wow.
So, yes, that's a smart dude. That's why he is where he is.
Okay.
It's okay to be smart.
No arguments with that. Now, if you could just tell us a little bit about the B-Boy party. What was that about for Mr. Ted? If you can just give us a little insight on what those parties were like. Were you DJing there? Were you?
I DJ'd. I was a break dancer. you know, 360 waves spinning and all of that.
Yeah.
I did graffiti back in the day, not on walls. I had my portfolio. You know, I grew up in the mid 80s in the Bronx, right when all the hip hop was really taking off.
Wow.
So that hip hop was me, you know what I'm saying? Beating on the hood of the cars, you know, back before they were all made of fiberglass, you know what I'm saying? Rapping with the little tape recorder so you and your boys could, you know, do their thing. Coming home, putting a loose leaf paper on the record player, your mother's record player that bounced, learning how to scratch, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was all a part of me growing up, you know what I'm saying? So hip hop and being a b-boy, you know, that was it. I still couldn't do the perfect windmill, but you know what I mean?
Windmill.
The windmill.
I never heard of that. That's a dance?
It's part of
Is that
breakdancing.
like a cartwheel?
It's breakdancing. It goes, yeah.
Oh.
I can never get it perfect. I could do get it 2-3 times and then that was it.
So it's fair to say that you were in the heart of it all, and you were in the era where I think, I don't know, it's more of an era. Obviously, it's not much of it here now, but that was a good era because everything was new. Things were just starting out. Like, what did it feel like? You know, now, and you said your parents bought you turntables. Now, you know, sometimes, you know, parents like, oh, you better knock that noise off, but your parents actually supported you.
Still to this day, you know.
That's important.
They've been my biggest supporters and biggest fans, honestly, because they saw the drive and they know me, you know what I mean? And whatever I put my mind to it, I'm gonna do. It's just a matter of when, not if. So, you know, the turntables was, I think, 2-part. One, so I have something to keep me from getting in trouble. And the other was they saw my passion for it. You know what I'm saying? So to this day, you know, my father still asks, how's things going with Zenith Star? You know, am I making any new music? What are you working on? Like, you know, he's not going to sit in here and listen to some hip hop with a whole bunch of cursing, but, you know, he's still interested. You know what I mean?
That's really big. And I just want to say to the viewers, I think sometimes it is hard when you have, you know, kids that are growing up and they have talents and want to express it through music. Sometimes you don't have that support, so then you start to doubt yourself. Well, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe this isn't for me. So I think it's very key when you have those primary supporters there for you, rooting you on, assuring you to saying like, hey, you can do this, you know, and we're going to help you, so you can become what it is that you know you want to become.
I owe my parents a lot, and it's not even like material things. It's more about what they instilled in me. You know, the sense of independence, responsibility, you know, originality. Like, don't do what these dudes are doing. You know, like, they instill that in me young. So the man I am today has a lot to do with that, because even today, I don't do what the next man's doing. You know, I'm not running with the same crowd. Even musically, I don't do what everybody else does. You know what I'm saying? And that sense of confidence is still there. You know, like, you can't tell me that I'm not going to do what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's still in me.
Well, as you guys can see, we are here at Ted's studio, and you have some pretty interesting stuff here. Now, you went to school.
I went to school
for this.
Not for this.
No,
I'm a mechanical engineer. I'm smart. I told you that.
He works at Estee Lauder. So amazing.
I wasn't going to even give them that much. But yes. I'm a director of engineering for a major cosmetic company. Yes.
But, okay, the reason why I say that is because sometimes I notice a lot of people in the arts, they might be teachers, but would know how to like do music as if they went to school for it, but they didn't. It's so crazy. Just like, you know, some people, they stereotype rappers and not knowing like, well, hey, he goes to college too.
Right.
So you're a chemical engineer, but look at your studio.
Right.
It's amazing.
It's both sides of the brain working. So even for my job, I have to be creative, but it's more technical. When I come in the studio, producing is creative, but then I engineer and mix, which is technical. So it's like a mix of both. So yeah, I do that during the day. I do this during the night. And when I sleep, you know.
I didn't mean to put you on blast.
You did though, but
I'm
it's
sorry.
okay. It's okay.
I'm a big fan of what you do. But anyway, so back to the technical stuff in the studio.
It's all right.
Now, how did you teach yourself to know what was next? The beat machines and the mixing boards. Like, who taught you that? Is that something you had to read up on, or did you?
It was a progression.
Okay.
I started off rapping. You know, I was in a group and I was the producer of the music for the group. And we used to go to studios. And in Newark, New Jersey, you know, I'm in college, got my group, and, you know, we hit in the studio. The guy didn't really know how to work his equipment. So I had a little demo set up, but, you know, where we recorded, he didn't know his equipment. So I'd be right there with him in the manuals trying to figure out how to do all these things, to the point that I knew it before he knew it.
Oh, wow.
And I'm basically running my own sessions in his studio. So, you know, the businessman in me is like, this is stupid to give him money for me to work. You know what I mean? So I worked. Every job I had, I just put the money aside and bought another piece of equipment. You know, summertime. Work crazy for the summer, take that money, buy some equipment. Have that equipment, start selling sessions, doing demos for people to get more money to buy more equipment. And before you know it, you got a ton of stuff and it's rocking, you know.
Wow. So I mean, you say it like it's so easy, but you actually, I need pictures when I'm trying to learn something. I need at least 1 or 2 pictures, 1, 2, and 3. You said that you actually read the manuals and you were able to just translate it from that?
I'm smarter than your average beard.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
So it just applied to music, and you know, the technical side of it, you know, it's not like I got everything at once and had to learn everything. You know, it was a growth. So I started off with, you know, a keyboard sampler, which I hold. I never get rid of my gear. And then once I mastered that, then I got the drum machine, which I still have, my MP. I'm not getting rid of that. Until I mastered that, then I moved on to another thing, you know. The recording process. This information is free, you know what I'm saying? I read the right manuals, the right magazines, learned from people who are tops in their craft, you know, so I could hone my own craft. And from doing it, I created my own sound, which is the sound that a lot of people are coming to me for now. So for me, it was always, when my studio was in a corner of my bedroom, it sounded like it was a big $1 million facility. You know what I'm saying? And it carries through to today. So I got independents sounding like major label artists, like listen to the Xeno Star Project. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I do. That's what I bring to the table.
All right. And I know that when you work with artists or artists come to you, you're very selective with who you allow in your studio, and you know, just the artists as themselves. Can you just tell us a little bit about that, about when you are choosing to work with an artist, whether you're going to work with them and whether you're not?
All right. So part one is, you know, the name Ted Big Shot Taitt. It implies a few things, but it's not all about money. All right. Big Shot is more about my mentality of doing things big. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it big. You know, that's my favorite saying, because if you're all in and passionate about something, why would you do it on a small scale? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you apples are going to be the best interviewer and host, like, do it big. Like, aim for a major network. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to do it just so you can look at it, you know, on your iPhone at home. You know what I'm saying? So my mentality has always been to do it big. So this dude wants to make beats. I want to produce records. You know, this guy wants to work on a demo. I want to do an album. This guy wants a laptop with a little, I want a studio. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it big. All right. So when it comes to an artist, they have to have that same mindset. As y'all know now that I have a 9-to-5, so, you know, that's a demanding career. Also, I have a family. That's demanding as well.
Very beautiful family.
Thank you. So my time to be in the studio is limited. You know what I'm saying? It's only 24 hours in a day. I've been trying for the last 4 or 5 years to figure out how to fit another 6 hours in. You know, there's only 24 hours in a day. So the time I spend in the studio has to be valuable. You know what I'm saying? So people have to take it as that. So that's part two. Time is valuable. So I'm not going to work with somebody who's going to waste my time. Part three, I built my studio onto the back of my house. So my wife knows where I am, you know what I'm saying, close to home, whatever. A lot of hours are spent in the studio, so I'm not gonna have just anybody random coming to my crib. So, that's 3 reasons, why I'm very selective. I have to be. I don't want somebody wasting my time.
Right. Amen to that. I think that's fair enough and well said. And while we're on the subject of artists, when you're working with artists and they come to you, you're dealing with like beats.
Mm-hmm.
What is like the most requested, like the different styles that they have, but what is the most that that artists want to work with? What kind of beats are they looking for? What kind of sound?
Well, here's the thing.
And I'm going to put Jersey in that.
Okay.
Jersey.
This is what's funny. I've been blessed to work with artists that don't really want to sound like anybody that's out there.
Okay.
And when I produce music, I'm not really trying to sound like what's out there. Like, I feel as though we have an opportunity to say something and do something that's special. Creating is very serious business, and nowadays people take it too lightly. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get in the studio, we work. I'm not just grabbing a loop from here, put it together and say, oh, I made a beat, and have somebody doing some candy rapping over it. Like, we going in, and I craft my joints. I take the time. Every sound is important, like to that level. Like, it's a serious business. Every song is like a major effort. So we come in and it's really what the vibe is. There's times when we start a session with nothing. We just walk in, hey, what's up? What we doing today? We get into a conversation, a topic pops up, and then it builds from there. I get on, one of these machines and, start roughing something out, and then it just builds from there. If we have musicians in the room, which we do a lot of times, we just start collaborating, and next thing you know, we got a joint.
Yeah, I can respect that originality. Do you think there's a Jersey sound? Do you think we have our own sound?
Right now, no.
Okay.
Because, I'm a New Yorker by, birth, and I grew up in New York, but I've been in Jersey so long that I identify with Jersey. And Jersey's in a funny position, whereas you got New York to the north, Philly to the south, and depending on where you are in Jersey is kind of what you gravitate toward. I'm always going to be a fan of New York music, but, that's gotten kind of stagnant lately. Where I am with it is I want to introduce something new. Jersey's always been big about bands. You got the Bon Jovis,
Bruce.
You got Bruce. It's about the band. So what I try to introduce in the songs that I do is the live element, because I think, and there's nothing like a performance with the band. So Zenith Star included. It shows with bands are awesome because the live music is where the energy is. So when I work on a track, I bring live elements in because I'm already thinking about the performance. So what I hope the Jersey sound gets back to is performing live with live music.
Wow.
That's what I'm trying to make the Jersey sound.
Do you see it happening?
I can see it happening because the way I do it is still hip hop. I'm a b-boy at heart, you know what I'm saying? So whatever I work on still has that element to it. So you'll be, bopping to a rock song, not even understanding why, because it's still hip hop.
Okay, I like that, the way you put that. As a producer and an engineer, and you're dealing with artists who, some of them do mimic who's on TV, who's on the radio, and who's out. How do you feel about when they're more concentrating on the shine of things than the business aspect? Meaning, if you're going to a studio and maybe the engineer or producer isn't like you, just let them do whatever they want. So it's like they're not really learning anything. And some of these artists, they're going in here like, yeah, they're going to do this and do that. But what are you really getting out of it if you don't know what you're doing? So I feel like sometimes with New Jersey artists, some of them are territorial. You got your click here and you click there. And I know that we're going to need to unite that to really make some noise here. You know what I mean? To get more artists mainstream here. How do you feel about that? The different the different sections and the territorial and, just maybe being more joint, because Philly, and you got Atlanta. I mean, you get Atlanta and them artists, I mean, they putting each other on.
And they're not even from Atlanta, half of them.
I mean, you get some artists, that collaborate with each other, but to me, I don't think it's on a real big scale, because you still got North Jersey who doesn't know about the people in South Jersey, and then Central. So it's a kind of a gap there. And as a producer and the engineer, like, how do you feel about that?
Well, for me, I think good music is good music.
Okay.
I think in Jersey, we don't really have the forum, which is why I love what you guys are doing, to bring those people together. If it wasn't for me meeting Zenith Star, I wouldn't be venturing into Patterson, looking for artists. I'd look for artists around my own area, you know what I'm saying? But just because that's where I am. Yeah. That's part of the problem with, like, you don't know me. And that's because I'm working with certain people. I'm not really promoting myself. I'm trying to give the artists the ammunition to promote themselves. Now I'm trying to expose my sound, the Jersey sound, the Connect Media sound, the Big Shot sound, to more people, you know what I'm saying? Through Zenith Star, through the artists I'm working with, but also just in general. Yeah. So, the forum, I think talent knows talent. So if you take somebody who's dope from South Jersey, who might gravitate toward Philly style music, you take somebody dope from North Jersey who might gravitate toward New York music, and you put them together over dope music, I think you're gonna have something special.
I totally agree.
So I think it's more about the forum and artists being open. You get some, people who don't want, they hate on other artists. Like, if you hate on other artists, you limit yourself. Because that artist might bring something out of you that you didn't even know you had.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? So collaborations spark ingenuity, sparks creativity, and that's how masterpieces happen. So you could create in your own little box. You'll only be as good as you are. You know what I'm saying? But you work with somebody else, you could be as good as they are. And as we all know, there's always somebody better.
Amen to that. I definitely agree with that. Just being more open to work with different people and different people from different areas. And I do know that we do lack the venues, to get those certain areas of Jersey together. But hopefully we have more of that, soon coming up.
Whatever you need, let me know.
And before we take a little short break, because I definitely want to bring you and Zenith Star in, because I know that you guys are going to be working on a project. What was it about Zenith Star that made you want to work with him?
Two things: talent, work ethic. That's all I needed to see. Like, if I'm gonna be up all night working off of half hours sleep, the artist shouldn't be chilling. He should be right there working. It's his project. It's his career. Zenith Star is one of the few artists that I know that his work ethic is even beyond mine. You know what I'm saying? So I know that my time is appreciated and not wasted because he's there grinding right there with me. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of work ethic from day one, like anytime I was available, he was ready to record. And I like that. And the fact that he's talented and, as a producer, my challenge to myself is never to make two tracks that sound alike. So it might be street hip hop, it might be pop, it might be rock, like whatever is coming out of me that day is coming out. And things that, were just me being creative, I wouldn't think really for anybody. It was just more for me to get it out, and I put it to the side. And as I'm going through tracks, he'll hear those tracks, and those are the ones he wanted to rap on. So, hey, the versatility. That's why we click.
Okay. And with those two combinations, it's this is how you get this. This is how you get the making of a legend, of versatility, all the things that Ted just said. When you have the producer, the engineer, and the artist working really, really hard together, perfection has to come out of that.
Yeah, sky's the limit.
Now, what are we expecting from Mr. Zenith Star? Any future projects?
Yes, Zenith Star is currently working on a project called The Fan in the Mirror.
Okay.
It'll be better for him to speak to it to promote himself.
The Fan in the
Fan in the Mirror. What he spoke to you about you got to be your biggest supporter.
Yes.
So he's got to deal with the fan in the mirror.
I like that. I think I have a fan in the mirror.
Hey, I've got a fan in the mirror.
I like that.
And just continuing to do new music. You know, tonight we're going to be working on finishing up the lead vocals for, he's got a sponsor, True Vodka, and working on a song that's going to be for True Vodka. So where the vodka goes, he performs.
Amen to that. And that's the endorsement,
yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
It's a nice endorsement for a dude without a deal.
But you know what? That's where hard work gets you, right?
Exactly.
When you do hard work, you believe in yourself, you put in the time, nothing but things like that should come to you, right?
Exactly.
Is that so?
Exactly. And you got to keep consistently at it.
Yeah.
You can't be going hard for 1 week and then take 3 months off. Like, he's been on it. So that's the key.
And one more question, Ted.
Mm-hmm.
Being that you grew up right in the heart of hip hop, you know, Funkmaster Flex is on the radio, but you had time to actually meet him up close and personal in school. How do you feel about hip hop today versus when you were growing up?
See, it's a tough question because hip hop, when it was a culture, and when it was limited is when it was truest. So it's a hard question because I'm happy with the level that hip hop has grown to, but with any music form, when it was jazz, when it was rock, you know, at its purest is when it was at its best. You know, people were worried more about creating the next best thing versus the next bestseller. Okay, so yes, it's a business. I understand that. But the music suffered because of the business. So now it just proliferates into a situation where this is hot. No one wants to take a risk. So they want to get something that sounds just like that so they can make money just like that one's making money. And even though like the biggest impact on music that happens is when it's something totally different, it's harder for that different thing to break through nowadays.
Amen. Amen to that. Amen to that. Really quickly, if someone wanted to be booked in your studio and want to work with you, you guys heard the guidelines that he has. So if you think you fit these guidelines, how can they get in touch with you? The best way is to go through the website, www.connectmediagroup.com with a K. KONNECTMEDIAGROUP.com. It's long on purpose. And hit me on the contact page and let me know what services you need. I mean, we also do mixing for people. You might not record in a studio this good, but I can still do things to make the mix, make your record still sound big. So, you know, we provide a lot of services. Check out the website and hit me on the contact page. Let me know what you need. Okay, great. So you guys heard it right here from Mr. Taitt from Connect Media here in South Plainfield, New Jersey. It was such a pleasure interviewing you. It's a pleasure being interviewed. You have a really good spirit about you. And I just want to say congratulations to the Zenith Star project. I really, really enjoyed his CD. It's in my car right now. All right, you guys. So thanks again, Ted. Thank you. Anything you need, let me know. Thank you. All right, you guys. I'm your host, Apples from New Music, New Jersey. We'll see you later. And you never know, we might just be coming to your town. Bye, guys.